just want to tell you guys, before the video starts, some of the stories are a little long and weird. I had a little hard time telling them because I was like playing the game, so I was like kind of a little confused, but I tried to get them as clear as possible, so hopefully you guys can understand it and everything. I think the stories are pretty interesting, you know, they're just elementary stories that I remember. I just hope you guys enjoy the video, and let me know if you guys want to see more of it, alright? Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'm about to have some good stories for you guys. To get this right, I have 3 mini stories, right? And basically, I just thought that I'd make a video about these 3 elementary stories. Now, these stories might be a little weird, or I don't know to call them weird. I don't know, are they weird? Well, one of them are really weird, but basically I'm trying to play and tell a story, but basically I'm gonna tell you guys the first story. Okay, I was in 2nd grade, and on my first day there I noticed a girl always looking at me, and for a couple of days it just kept happening, you know, like she kept looking at me every day, but I just thought that it was just random, you know. I thought that it was just random.
3, 2, 1,
but apparently, like, you know, like I said, I thought it was random. She just kept looking at me every day, and I thought she was just weird, honestly, because the way she would look at me was just kind of weird. You know, you ever just see somebody looking at you and just like, why are you looking at me? She always looked at me, you know, when we would go in line. You know how you go in line to go into classrooms, or go in line to use the bathroom, or go in line to go to recess. She would just always be looking at me, and I just would be so confused on why she was always looking at me. It was just like, what are you looking at, you know? And, you know, a couple days, weeks later, I noticed that, you know, in line she would get really close to me, and I would just be like, okay, now you know, you're going too far, like, you're just like, what are you doing right now? She would basically touch upon me, get really close to me, hug me. The weird part was she never said nothing. She just would always come on me, and I kind of got irritated after work, and I didn't understand why she kept doing that. Like, why do you keep coming by me, messing with me? I thought she had a problem with me because she just kept always coming by me and not really like saying nothing. She just kept coming by me, and it was just weird. I think one time I even said hi to her, and she said nothing to me. Like, she just kept coming by me, so I used to get really mad about it, a little confused. But anyway, you know, like I said, over a couple more weeks, she started, and I got a little irritated, started pushing her a little bit. I was just like, please, like, get away from me. I started telling her, get away from me, and she would not, you know. She would just look at me with no emotion and just keep coming by me, and I was just like, what did I do to you? Like, what did I do that you have to keep messing with me, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, she kept coming to me, messing with me, and over time, I think there was a couple times I like hit her, and I don't want to sound like a bad person for that. Like, I didn't hit her in the way you're thinking. It was more like a push, or like a little nudge to her, because she really kept being under me. Like, when I said she was under me, it was like she was right under me, but I didn't even understand why. Like, she just was there. And so basically, yeah, he's dominating me. So basically, she just kept doing that, and over time, I started getting in trouble for pushing her. I kept telling the teachers and my mom that it wasn't what they thought. You know, I'm not hitting her, or like, you know, beating her, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't even bothering her. She kept coming to me, and they're just like, well, Chris, you know, you can't hit girls. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, but guys, she keeps coming up to me, and I don't even know who this is. But anyway, basically what happened was she would keep doing that, and I started getting in trouble, and eventually people started realizing that she kept coming up to me for no reason, and the teachers started telling her like, hey, like they started telling her like, hey, you know something, you can't, like, you know, you can't basically try to get somebody in trouble if you keep walking up to them, like, you know, like, basically what I'm trying to say is she would keep bothering me, and when I pushed her away, or, you know what I'm saying, she would tell the teacher that I pushed her or something, and the teachers was just like, after over time they started realizing what was happening. The teachers were like, hey, you know, like, how are you gonna like try to say that he's bothering you if you keep going by him, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to stay away. Like, you know, Chris is staying away from you, why are you going by him still, you know, if you don't like him or if he keeps bothering you? But she kept doing it. And tell me why on the last day of school she makes like this art for me or something like that. She makes like an art and it says, I like Chris. And at first I was like, there's no way it's me, there's no way that she was talking about me, you know. But to come to find out, she was talking about me, because she said it herself. She's like, no, I'm talking about you, Chris. Like, she literally said that, and that was the first time I heard her voice. That was the first time I even remember hearing her talk to me. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, it just felt weird. Like, it was just like, okay, like, what is this? You know, like, are you seeing too, knowing that she liked me and I was just pushing her away being mean? But at the same time, she never told me. Like, she never talked. She never said anything. She never even gave any signs. She never smiled when she was messing with me. She never did anything. She just kept coming by me, basically just doing what she did. And so it confused me, basically, to why she kept doing that. But anyway, she kept doing that in a way, and it was just sucky. Because I found out at the end of the day, and I felt so mean. I felt mean, and I felt like a bad person, because I felt like I was just basically being wrong for that. But anyway, basically, yeah, that's the end of the story. Like, I found out that she had liked me at the last day, and that was the first time I talked to her on the last day. Like, that's the weirdest part about it. Like, how do you go a whole year without talking to somebody, and on the last day you find out that they like you? Like, that's just, it was just such a weird experience. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it was the most confusing story ever. But that was story number one. Now I have another little mini story. This story was basically about me and my friend. So I basically knew him for a while, and he was like, it was over time we just weren't cool no more. Like, you know, I guess something happened. He just, you know, we just wasn't cool. You know how you just know that somebody doesn't like you anymore? That's how we were. We just weren't cool anymore. And basically, there's this one day we're playing at recess. Well, I wasn't playing with him, but, you know, playing at recess, and I'm just chilling. And I noticed that he was really mad at me for some reason. Like, you know how you can tell somebody's looking at you, talking about you? Like, he was talking to his friends about me, and he kept looking at me like as if he wants to fight me, and I knew that. And I felt that vibe, but I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna ignore it, you know? So I ignored it. And, you know, I'm just chilling. You know what happens? A couple seconds later, somebody comes and, like, grabs me, like, from behind, and, like, arm holds me, and almost try to basically choke me out. Like, to picture this out for you guys, if you wrap your arm around somebody's neck from behind, and then you pick your feet up off the ground, and basically, like, that's what he did. Like, he was basically, like, holding on my neck, leaning on my neck, and making me go back, making me, like, lean back. And he basically instantly knew who it was, and I was just like, oh no, man. Like, you know, I threw him straight to the ground. Like, as soon as he was behind me, it was pretty easy because he was on my back. So I basically turned around and I like threw him all the way to the ground. And he was mad because of this, but I was just like, hey, you're the one who came up to me starting this. You try to choke me out. So I threw him to the ground pretty hard, you know. He got up. We only had like 2 minutes left of recess. You could tell he was mad. I walked away from it. He had long sleeves on, so he pulled his sleeves up, and basically, I could tell that he was really mad. He pulled his sleeves up as if he wanted to fight, so I knew that there was going to be probably a problem. And, like, right as recess ends, we're walking to the water fountains. He comes around, and I'm just like, oh, what does he want? He comes up to my face, and he's like, oh, what are you trying to do? And I'm just like, bro, like, I'm not trying to fight. And he jacks up his arm, hits me right in the jaw, super clean and super hard. As soon as I was trying to basically hit him back, the big teacher hops right in front of me. And as strong as I thought I was, I could not get around this teacher. He was huge. Not trying to be mean, but he was big. And he would not let me do anything to that kid who hit me in the face. And that made me even, like, more madder. Like, the fact that the kid was right in front of me, he hit me. And, like, how bad would you feel if you try to hit somebody back and somebody, like, stops you? Like, it would make you feel so mad because you know that you were gonna hit somebody pretty hard, and somebody gets in your way, and you're already mad, and they're just making you more madder by not letting you do what you want to do. So basically, I was just pissed, and that got me more madder. But it sucked because everybody seen it, like all the kids in our class seen it. They were just looking at me, and I was just sitting there just pissed. And basically, I just sat there pissed the whole time. I couldn't do anything. They sent us both to the office, and it made no sense because the kid acted like he didn't even care. He was just sitting there. He was just sitting there like he didn't even care. Like, he was just like, oh yeah. He was laughing about it in the office, and I was still mad. I was just like, I was asking him what he do that for, and he didn't even like have a real excuse. He was just like, oh, whatever, Like, he was just laughing about it as if it was funny, as if it was like a skit or something. And I'm just sitting here like, this is not funny. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know if you guys, I didn't say this yet, but he gave me a knot in my jaw. So I had a big circle on my jaw because of him, and he thought it was funny, Like, I'm just like, what do you mean? It's not funny. Like, that wasn't funny. Like, it just pissed me off even more. But I was already in the office, and I wasn't trying to start nothing more than that, so I was just like, you know what, man, I'm just try to get past this and just try to get past it. But of course it was hard to get past because every day of school for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I had to deal with people just laughing about it or something like that, because my jaw was busted by him. And so it was just annoying, it was really annoying. But yeah, it was just like that. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story, I got punched in the face and had to be embarrassed for 2 or 3 weeks for it. How about the next story? The next story, this one is probably the most weirdest, and it annoys me the most. But to sum it all up, it was about this kid who basically bullied me. He basically every day he would bother me, and to sum it all up, you know how somebody bothers you every other day? It was just like the first story, how basically the girl would complain to the teacher, except I wasn't bothering her. Well, in this story, this kid was bothering me every day, throwing stuff at me, hitting me, whatever it is, saying stuff about me. And basically, I kept telling the school, kept telling teachers, this is what's going on. Can you guys tell them to stop, They wouldn't do nothing. And basically, one time, we're we had to go use the bathroom. Like, they sent us all to the bathroom, and the teacher, one of the staff members, came with us, and I think it was 6 kids. I think, I don't know, but I think it was 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. Girls go to the girls' room, guys go to the guy room, whatever. I go in there. There's 3. What do you call them? Oh shoot. There's 3 stalls, not the door stalls. There's the 3 stalls you could stand up and, you know, take a piss, and then there's the 3 stalls that actually have a door. Well, one of the kids went to the first stall, to the stall that you stand up in, and I went to another stall that you stand up in, but it happened to be in the corner. Because there's 3, you know, I used the one on the far end in the corner, and he's the one that was towards the sinks on the outside, and nobody went to the one in the middle. The kid that used to mess with me went to the one stall, the one with the door, the one in the middle though. And I wasn't really worried about him, you know, I was just trying to take this. The kid who went in the stall, the first one, he ended up finishing up, and I was still taking a piss. And I noticed, not that I was watching him, but I noticed that the kid that used to bother me that was in the stall was basically, you know what, let's call this kid Red. Let's just call him Red, because that's just easier. I noticed that Red was in the stall, but I noticed that he wasn't, like, I didn't hear him taking a piss, I didn't hear him using no tissue, nothing. Like, it was just silence. After that other kid left, it was just silence. Me and Red was just in the bathroom, and it was just quiet besides me taking a piss. Once I finished taking a piss, I noticed there was still, like, he didn't flush the toilet, nothing happened. And I was just like, what's going on? Like, if he's in the bathroom, if he's really using the bathroom, like, why is it so quiet? You know what I'm saying? That was just weird. But I was like, maybe he's gonna, like, take the number 2, and he just waited for me to get out, and, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I started finishing up. Tell me why, right before I pull up my pants, he happens to just literally unlock the door and come out, and I'm just like, okay. And I stopped. I was like, you know what, I don't want to end up at the sink with him, or see him at the sink, or walk next to him, or nothing. So I said, you know, I'm gonna wait for him to leave or go to the sinks first, and then I'll finish up. And he just stands there, and I noticed he doesn't move anymore. So he comes out the stall, and it's just silent again, and he's just sitting behind me, and I'm just like, so I turn around, and I find out he's looking at me, and I'm just like, okay, what are you looking at me for? And I'm just like, oh boy, like, here he goes. But I didn't say nothing. I just act like I didn't even notice him. I was just like, whatever. He walks up to me, and I start pulling my pants. I'm like, oh, what are you walking up to me for? I turn around, and basically he pulls down his pants, and I'm sitting there, like, he's that close to me. Like, he's seriously that close to me. Like, he's literally that close to me that I couldn't even walk around or do nothing. And I'm like, no, what is this? But before I even had time to even honestly move, he did it so fast. He pulls out his stuff, and you know what he starts doing? He starts taking a piss on me. And I just didn't know what to say or do. I just sat there in shock. Have you ever just seen something happening and you're just so shocked because you don't feel like it's real, you don't feel like it's really happening, you feel like you're hallucinating or something, because you're like, there's no way this is happening. He starts taking a piss at me. I literally felt like I was in slow motion, because, you know, I was looking up at him, I was looking at his face. So I looked down. I felt like I was in slow motion. I looked slowly down, realizing that that's his, you know, that's him. And I keep looking down, seeing the piss come on down my leg, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm just like, there's no way that he's sitting here doing this to me for no reason. And apparently it was real. And so I'm still in shock, because I feel what's this word I'm trying to say? I feel embarrassed to go outside and tell the teacher that I literally just got pissed on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to tell the staff? How am I going to tell the teacher? How am I going to tell my mom? I literally just got pissed on. by this kid that's been bothering me. It felt so bad. Like, it didn't even feel right. I didn't feel like it was real at all, but that's what basically happened. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. Like, the school found out. They called my mom to come pick me up because I can't stay at school with that on me. My mom is sitting here like, whoa, did he get in trouble? And I'm like, Mom, I don't know. You know, my mom finally called the school. She's like, what are you guys gonna do about this? Because it's gotten too far now, you know. First she's bothering Chris or Red is bothering Chris, and, you know, school hasn't done nothing about it all year long. And then now Red pisses on Chris, and, you know, like, what are you guys gonna do about this? The school ends up suspending him for like 2 or 3 days. That's it. Literally, they just suspend him for 2 or 3 days. And, you know, I remember seeing the look on his mom's face, and I'll never forget that. Like, I'm not trying to be racist, but the whole school was white, which I had no problem with. All the teachers was white, most of the students there were white, but his mom had her shades on. She looked at me and did not care. She didn't apologize. The kid didn't apologize. I literally was so mad. Like, I felt disgusted. Like, I felt like honestly, I felt like a little, like, I felt like a little baby. I want to say another word, but it's not a right word to say. I felt like a little baby after that. Like, just imagine you knowing that somebody basically pissed on you, and they're just acting like they're the man. Like, that's what he did. Like, he acted like he was the man. His mom gave me a face. Like, you know, she had her sunshades on, so I couldn't see her eyes, but she's looking at me like she didn't care. She didn't say a single word to me. She did not care that her son was bullying me all year. She didn't care that her son just took a piss on me for no reason. She didn't care about none of that. She literally was just like, okay. So it was pretty bad for me. I had to go home. My mom bought me new clothes though in the car. I changed and I went home. But it was pretty sad. Like, it was pretty sad. The whole thing was pretty sad. But I've learned a lot through that. It was just sad though. And like, that's it. Those are my 3 stories. They're I wish I could have maybe made them more detailed, but I didn't really remember all that because it was a long time ago. But I think the 3 stories are pretty crazy, especially the last one because of what happened. It was pretty crazy. I think, like, you know, I think back and I'm just like, man, like, why didn't he get in trouble for that, you know? But that's how life is. And throughout all of it, I just try to be strong through that, you know what I'm saying? But those are the 3 stories, you know? I hope you guys learned something from it. I definitely learned something from it, but I also, like, they were crazy, you know? And it was just 3 crazy experiences, and those aren't even all of them, you know? Those were just 3 that were off the top of my head that I thought about, and I'm just like, dang. But to sum it all up, you know, first story with the girl liking me. She liked me all year. Kept bothering me, kept coming under me. I was getting irritated, started pushing her away. Found out on the last day she liked me. Second story, one of my friends just became my enemies or just was mad at me. Tried to grab from behind me. I threw him to the ground. He got mad, came up to me, punched me. He got in trouble. I got in trouble. Don't know why I got in trouble, but I still did get in trouble. Third story, bullied me all year. Never got in trouble. He finally pisses on me, and he gets 3 days suspension. Yeah, and his mom has no sympathy. Neither did he. It sucked. Honestly, those 3 stories, especially the last one, they sucked. But like I said, it was just a big experience for me, and I'll probably always remember those. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know. like I said, I wish I could have had more detail, but you know, they were a long time ago, and I wanted to keep it as real as possible. I don't want to over exaggerate anything. That's exactly how those happened. And I want to say something to the last guy though. Last guy, I just hope that he does good in life and that he doesn't do that to anybody else, because that was really messed up. Taking a piss on somebody is really disrespectful. It's just like when you spit on somebody, like that's really disrespectful. I will have a lot more stories for you guys. Not a lot of them are positive. I wish some of my stories were a lot more positive, but it just so happens that I have a lot of negative or bad stories, you know. But I think the first one was pretty nice, you know, the girl liking me, and I found out at the end. I think that was kind of nice. Like, it felt good at the end. I mean, you're just like, oh, this whole time the girl liked you, you know. It felt good. But yeah, those are 3 little stories. It's crazy because I said 3 little stories, but they seem pretty long. But that's it, guys, you know. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys want to see more. And yeah, I'm out now. Peace.